Each month, the art director, David Perry, and I will look at a number of images and try and figure out from usually shows that are hanging currently. We want to have some type of news peg to it. So you see it on the cover of Chronogram, usually at a much reduced size. So we'll look at a number of different images and then narrow it down, mock some things up, because it also has to have room for our logo on it without being too obtrusive. Oftentimes we'll hide our logo slightly a little bit because we can do that, especially because we're so well known and our size is so distinctive, and people know when they see that striking cover image that this is Chronogram. It's not as if we're hiding on a newsstand with Men's Health, etc., etc. We're lucky in that way to have relationships with the 700 businesses where we distribute the magazine. One of the things that we try and do each month is be very aware of mixing it up month to month, and also be aware of trying not to repeat ourselves, not to fall into the trap of, glorifying female nudity especially, but also not being afraid of that as well. But one of the other great things that we're able to do is to find emerging artists, people who are unknown, but who are doing great work. And maybe they've not even had a gallery show yet, but they have such an eye. They're photographers, they're sculptors, they're painters. And we've seen some of these artists having their picture on the cover of Chronogram catapulted into gallery shows. We've had curators contact us saying, how do I get in touch with this person? This work is phenomenal. You really must put me in touch with them. I mean, that's certainly very gratifying for us to create a kind of a springboard for younger artists, because the cover of Chronogram, it doesn't matter who you are, it's how you look, it's how the image looks, it's how it carries off. And so whether you're Martin Puryear or you're just a photographer in community college, I mean, we've published, 20-year-olds on the cover of Chronogram. Why? Because the work is great. It doesn't matter who you are, the quality of the work is what matters. So when we're choosing images, we're trying not to actually relate it to the content of the magazine. We're allowing it to be its own entity because we don't want it to be strained with the freight of the editorial of the magazine. Chronogram exists only because the Hudson Valley is as rich with artists and culture as it is. If Chronogram existed, say, in Rockland County or Westchester, even slightly to the south, it would be a different type of magazine temperamentally and energetically. The Mid-Hudson Valley is so rich with writers and artists. At one point I thought we were going to run out of people to cover and things to cover in the arts, and it's not the case. I mean, the Mid-Hudson Valley is just a veritable profusion of culture, and we're here to cover it. So when I look back at our covers, I see this succession of images by these tremendous artists. I mean, we've had Peter Max on the cover, we've had Amy Arbus on the cover, we've had Emil Alzamora, Martin Puryear, this succession of A-list Hudson Valley artists, and we're kind of just tracking time. And so one of the most exciting things for me about the cover show is going to be seeing 100 of our covers all in one place and kind of watching our progression in that way.